question. So this is question and answer. Question and answer time. Ask me any question.
So can you clear us can you clear me? Because maybe I was tired when I read it. This SMR, spinal motion restriction. So
okay, spinal
motion restriction.
Motion
Yeah.
Restriction.
Yeah, which?
So where do you use this scale? Where?
In the brain.
I said it even before you came. I've already explained it in the morning today. Yes. What type of injury do you need this scale? Head injury. So if you suspect that anybody has a head injury, okay, one of the things you must prevent when somebody has a head injury is movement. You don't want the head to be moving on the neck, because that may cause, remember head injury, there are 3 types of head injury, right? There are 3 types of head injury. Compressions, right? Compressions, concussions, skull fracture, skull fractures. Okay? So, when somebody has head injury, you may not know exactly which one. Okay? Unless you are familiar with the signs and symptoms. But even when, let's assume there is a fracture. Okay, remember there are 3 types of fracture here. Right? There are 3 types of fracture. And I'm going to come back to spinal motion. Why you don't want that movement to happen. Okay? So the 3 types of fracture, you have compound fracture. Please pay attention. Compound, you look up here, no need reading. Compound fracture. And then you have what? Simple fracture. Simple. And then you have what? Depressed. Okay, depressed fracture. Okay, this is also called open fracture. Open. This is called closed fracture. Okay, closed. Okay, so this is compound. So the bone is sticking out. So you can see the bone from outside the skin. So it's open. The bone has broken the skin and is sticking out. That is compound. This one, the bone is not sticking out, even though there is crack. There's a crack. So it's not coming out. This depressed fracture, instead of the bone coming out, the bone is actually going the other way. So it's piercing on the brain. The bone is sticking on the brain. That's why it's going this other way. So just imagine you have this type of fracture, and then the person's head is moving like this. What do you think will happen? The injury will be more. So if a simple fracture, the movement can make it go this way. So that's how you restrict the movement. So it's a manual process. SMR is a manual process whereby you restrict movement on the neck and the head, and it's easy. You use your 2 hands. Make sure your hand is relaxed on the floor or wherever surface, and then you are holding the head and the neck. This may be all you do until EMS comes. Again, the purpose is simple, to avoid the movement. Because if you allow that movement, it will worsen the situation. And I'll give you an example of this. Yes, so that is one of the reasons why you stop that movement of the head. Okay, so it's called the spinal motion restriction. You restrict the movement to avoid aggravation of the problem the person is in already. So usually you call 911 and then manually prevent that movement using this scale. Okay, so that's a good question. Any other one? Yeah, go ahead, ask. Ask any question. Let's
Okay, when can you talk about more on seizure? Yeah, we have 3 types of seizure, like
okay, yeah, I get you. So you want me now? Seizures.
yeah.
Seizures is a neurological condition. Seizures. Okay, seizures. Neurological. What is neurological? Origin is brain. Whenever you hear about something has neurological, something is neurological in nature, it means brain. The origin is brain. And you know that brain is made up of thousands of cells. The cells in the brain are many. Okay, they're running into 1,000 cells. And they need unity. So the brain cells, they need unity, oneness, to be able to function, to be able to coordinate all the activities. There are tons of activities going on simultaneously in the body. Even as we're thinking now, the heart is pumping, the lungs doing the work, the liver, they are working, your eye blinking, your stomach churning the food. The activity is going on simultaneously. Everything coordinated by the brain. So the brain needs unity to function. So if anything happens to the brain that takes that unity away or reduces the unity in the brain, we call it unism. So unism. Anything that happens to the brain that takes unity or minimizes the unity, we throw the brain into some activities. So the brain will go into activities. And the activity will be able to generate what we call electrical impulses. So that activity of the brain will release electrical impulses. So that electrical impulses is responsible for the seizure. Okay, the electrical impulses generated as a result of the movement, the activities of the brain, because unity is gone. And so, if you look at the book, there are many things that can cause a seizure. Low sugar is there. Hypoxia is there, which is low oxygen. So if you put somebody in a confinement where oxygen is reduced, the person may go into seizure. Head injury, stroke. These are all causes of seizure. Alcohol withdrawal, drug withdrawal. Okay? Excessive neurological stimulation. All this. And then in little children, high fever in children can also throw them into convulsion or seizure. We call it febrile seizure. Okay? But one thing you must go, the message here, the central message is that something happened to somebody, maybe brain injury, somebody hit the brain somewhere, head somewhere, and then there's injury in the brain, and that unity is affected, and then the brain goes into activities, and then the activities generates electrical shock, impulses. So electrical impulses travel through the spine to the muscles, and then all the twitch